Hi Libra, this is Angel Aura Divination, and I'm here to give the sign of Libra their spiritual message. This is going to be a message from your guides. So I'm going to be channeling your guides through a tarot and oracle reading to give you an idea of who your guides might be if you are in question about that especially, and also what they might have to say to you through this reading. It's going to be a shorter message. I want this to be about 10 to 15 minutes. These readings are fairly straightforward. So I'm using the Angelarium Oracle of Emanations for an understanding of who your guide might be, what they might be like, some ideas on, possibly even their appearance and things like that. The Angelarium Oracle of Emanations is an oracle deck that actually has illustrations of basically like anthropomorphized, I don't know if that's the right word, versions of like different branches of the Kabbalistic tree of life, and they also have some angels and different things in there like that. So it'll kind of help me see what your guides look like. I've had this oracle for a long time, so I'm very connected to these cards. I'm also using the Wheel of the Year Tarot to pull possibly even some cards on what your guide is like, what they might have to say to you as well. So let's just get into it. I'm just going to say a quick prayer with myself over your cards, and then I'm going to get into the reading. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm gonna move this fan. I'm also going to start reading. Okay, so that's good news. Okay, these are cards for me, which is interesting because I'm not a Libra. I mean, in Vedic, I'm a Libra, so that I sometimes watch Libra readings. Anyway, you have Remph, the Angel of Time. So you might be connecting to a guide who is possibly very old. So if it was an ancestor, because your guides can be ancestors, they could be angels, they could be deities, or they could be saints, or any kind of spirit. So it could even be possibly like aliens and different stuff like that, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to describe what I see through the card. This guide is very ancient, possibly very old if they were human. They might have lived during a time where if they expressed to you some of their own experiences, you would not truly fully understand them. They also might have lived during a time where they spoke another language, or even recorded their history in a different language. This could even be an ancient guide before recorded history for some individuals, and especially if this was a deity, this deity could be like one of the oldest deities, possibly like an old god, but not necessarily. I get a very primal energy off of this card. They might even work with crystals or help you work with crystals as well, whether you acknowledge that or if you know that it's them that push you to do crystal healing or not. They also might have dominion over other spirits around you or help you with that as well. This individual, if they were an ancestor specifically, this would be an ancestor that you do not know, someone who has ascended to help the family line and who has come to you in this life to allow you to continue that legacy for them as well as for yourself, and possibly even help others that are alive with you in this family, which would be an indirect help from them. So it's kind of like if this was an ancestor, they were really focused on dedicating their ascended self, especially after death, to ascending and awakening the bloodline in certain ways so that there can be prosperity, basically. They're actually even saying that this guide specifically might like ancestor money or angel money or whatever it is you give them. You could even use Monopoly money, I guess. I don't really know about all that. I don't use Monopoly money on my own altar. But you could go get some ancestor money. They have it on like Amazon, and they also sell it in little shops on Etsy and stuff. It's not super expensive, but you can buy, go research it a little bit before you just go and jump and buy any. Also, understand that when you give a spirit money, that can be multiple things. This guide might even want to help you manifest money in your own life, which is why they want the ancestor money, or they might want monetary, because there's a common belief for a lot of people who have ancestor altars that if you give your ancestors money, they'll have money in the spirit realm. But another way that some spirits actually work is that if you give them money, or if you put money on an altar for them, they will give that money back to you, the materials from that money back to you, whether that's through spiritual upgrades that can help you have money, or whether that's through you literally attracting more abundance and wealth into your life, or possibly even pushing you to go and have more energy to go and get more money for yourself, basically. So keep that in mind. So let's get some cards out from the Wheel of the Year Tarot to talk about what your guide might have to say to you. We have a couple cards. Anything else for Libra? Ooh, okay. Anything else for Libra? We have a lot of cards, so I'm going to try to get through this pretty quickly because I do want to keep this reading short. Okay, so they're actually saying that this is an indication of you. We have Death and we have the Knight. This is the King of Wands. You're a very passionate person. You're very focused on career, possibly more mentally focused on career than actually like working towards career. They're saying to me this, like they said, you're more mentally focused on your career than you actually are taking action, when in reality you need to master this ability to take action. And this is one of the biggest changes that is going to actually occur in your life at this time. You might even be starting a new cycle in your life where you are focusing your energy more on connecting deeper to your guides, or connecting deeper to your higher self. Even if you don't do it consciously, you're still doing that to the extent that you are going to be active in connecting to your career. And this might even be involved with you connecting outside as well, or even putting more devotion into prayer, whether this is prayer to God, prayer to certain gods, or even prayer to this guide. You know what I mean? This guide is also kind of saying that there are certain relationships or situations in your life that you need to cut out. And a lot of these situations really are put you in your head. They could even be relationships with some of your elders, or possibly even like a relationship with the boss. But it could be anybody who has or does have superiority over you. And when I said it could be anybody, they said anybody who has or has had, like anybody who has as in the past tense, meaning that this could be individuals around you that you still deal with that have taken power over you in the past. They said that it's basically like, though some of these people put you in your head because they want to keep you down, they want to keep you suppressed, and some of these people need to be cut out for you to actually have prosperity in your career. And this could be resonant for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. So for some people it might be a relationship, even if it's not physically abusive, or even if this person does not take active, an active abusive role. This person does kind of abuse their power as a loved one in your life, where they kind of keep you down to feel better about themselves. Possibly even manipulation through sex with the Devil here. The Devil is also here to basically say that, you do have a very lusty and passionate energy about you that you could really use. They're even saying that you might have a sex appeal that you could use a little bit more if you chose to, and that might even benefit you in the realms of career as well, if you chose to do that, if you chose to take action towards that. Now, the Devil does oftentimes also indicate a negative relationship or a negative perspective to sexual relationships, but here how I'm getting it is that it's really more about having a deeper connection to the self, and understanding that to get what you want, you kind of have to connect more to yourself and your sex appeal, but not necessarily that you have to, but it's an option that you can take to manifest greater abundance into your life if you so chose. And that you might even have guilt around that aspect of yourself because you don't want to outshine people who are not as good looking as you, or people who do not know how to use their sex appeal. Or you might even have self-esteem issues based on these abusive cycles that you've had with the people who have power over you in your life. We have the Six of Wands here, basically telling me that you will have victory in a lot of areas of your life once you choose to take action. It's really just about the way that you manifest things for yourself moving forward. This also indicates positive cycles when you choose to have them. So it's kind of like, it's not saying that it's your fault that anything negative has happened to you, but it is basically saying that it's up to you to make positivity happen for you, especially if you've been in negativity. It's a lot about your mindset, but it's also about the actions that you take, your connection to your guides, and the way that you manifest for yourself. So if you have a positive outlook on the future and you really make goals, clear goals in your own mind, and then act on them, you will get what you want, as long as you remember that it's not always about where you're going, it's about how you're getting there, and then ultimately you'll get where you need to be. So in regards to career, if you have like a dream job that you want to have or something like that, it's basically your guide is really basically saying that you can have whatever job you want to have. If you see yourself doing it, you just need to go after it, and you need to go after it with a full heart. You also need, connecting to your guide might help you, or putting in the efforts spiritually might help you in whatever way that works for you. So for some people, they meditate on their goal. They manifest their goal through meditation, possibly even through visualization for those of us who are visual thinkers. For some people, it's writing their goals down and rereading what they wrote, or writing down their goals every day. For some people, they do the 2-cup method, where they have to see the visual ritual of drinking the water that represents what it is they want so that they can manifest it in there. Some people use the law of attraction to manifest. Ultimately, we all do, but that's a different conversation. Some people just pray. It's up to you. It's up to you how you go about this. But whatever way you go about this, I think the guide is going to be very supportive personally. Sometimes this guide does communicate with you kind of effectively, or they kind of make things happen to you fast, abruptly. It might even be a guide who communicates to you that you need to change the way that you go about things, where they give you surprises. So they might even be putting you in situations where you are met with some kind of difficulty or some kind of surprise that is communication from them that you need to change your route. This could even be dramatic for some of you, but that's not going to resonate with everyone. And this is really them trying to tell you that you need to change your actions a little bit. The next card out that we have is the Ace of Pentacles, saying that this guy can offer you some abundance if you pray to them or ask them for it. I don't think that it's really about knowing who this guide is, because their face is not really seen in the card, right? With Remph does not have a face, right? It's just a depiction of a body, basically. And so what it's saying is, like, your guide is basically saying, you don't have to know who I am. You could just pray to your own higher power, but you do need to be aware that there is guidance out there for you. You're not just in this alone if you don't want to be. We have the Four of Cups talking about disappointment. I think ultimately you will find disappointment. Also, the way that I set this down is kind of showing me that your guide might even give you situations where, like, disappointing situations, or situations where you're extremely unhappy, or where you start focusing on that negative mindset, is when they really are like, you got to change this up. And then they really hit you. But sorry, I just clapped. I don't know how loud that's going to be in the recording, but they really hit you hard with an abrupt change, so that you can actually realize that this is a sign from the universe that you need to change the way that you're going about your life if you have a desired goal that you're not going after. And ultimately, I think that they do kind of push you towards a more balanced lifestyle, or they would even think that you would benefit from a balanced lifestyle with the Chariot here. I also kind of get the impression, though, that you will be more awakened as you move forward in your life, and that you will even see your relationship with your guides be revealed to you in certain aspects as you move through your life. But it's really also about, they said, don't blame us for your problems, but be aware that we do have a hand in the way that your problems are presented to you. The Chariot is basically saying that you will reach a further enlightenment sorry, this is Mercury retrograde. You will reach further enlightenment as you go down your path, and you will start to understand that your guides are there for you, whether you develop a relationship or not, based on the balance in your lifestyle. If you genuinely go after your own desires, because that's really what this reading is about for you, is like really, really genuinely going after your dreams, whether that's a dream job or a dream relationship or anything like that, that your guides are going to be there for you, and they're really going to be pushing you towards a greater enlightenment for the soul journey that you're on in this life. So that's not necessarily saying that all of you are going to be super spiritual, or that your guides are going to literally present themselves in front of you like some people see, or that you're going to be traveling in the astral or having a psychic connection with your guides. But it is basically saying they're going to be there for you if you are there for yourself. And now they're even saying God helps those who help themselves. So it's exactly that. It's, you need to be able to put in effort in the 3D for your own life, and any work that you put into that in the spiritual sense will benefit you at this time, especially if you've been lacking in spirituality. So that's all I have for you, Libra. Hopefully this resonated for you. If it did resonate, I would love a comment in the comment section. Obviously, I would love a like, and I would also really appreciate if you subscribed and followed me, or at least looked at my other social media. Thank you so much for sticking around this far in the reading. Goodbye.